Hello?
Hello. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, just give me a second. Something wrong with my computer here. Hello? Let's try again.
Yeah,
Okay, we're good now. Okay, sorry about that, man. Let's just get the ball rolling.
sure.
We got ourselves a 3100 MMR carry coaching session. What did we talk about last time? Just give me a bit of a refresher to
Sure.
help me out.
Last time we talked about my map awareness. I was told to look more at the map, like what's happening in other lanes where I'm near to where I'm farming. And I've been
Hmm.
working on that, but I realized that when I was doing that, I like my other things, like other skills, like were getting affected because this was like a new trait I was trying to do, right? So like I was doing worse on everything else. But eventually, I think I'm getting better at it. So I have few game. Actually, for before we go into a proper game, I had like a very hero specific question.
Sure.
Yeah. So there is this game. Let me send you this game. So this is a game where we ended up abandoning because one of our guy was AFK and it was safe to leave. But we played like first, I think 10 minutes or something like that. Um, in that game, I was up against Razor in lane, and I had literally no clue.
You cut out for a second. I heard literally no clue, and then that's it.
I was saying I had literally no clue how to play against Razor in that game. Uh,
You're a life stealer?
yes.
Give me a second. Well, just so you know, here's life stealers matchups in Dota.
Okay. Hmm.
Fifth worst matchup is Razor.
I see. Okay.
I will tell you, life stealer versus Razor is absolute garbage. Like that is a horrible matchup. I'd almost say it's worse than the other ones. I actually might say it's probably his worst matchup from my perspective.
Hmm.
I can watch real quick. Like like from my perspective, drafting in pubs, if Razor's in the pool, I will never pick Lifestealer. Like that's actually
I see.
like in the current
Okay.
meta, that would be my answer to your problem. Because you know Razor's picked every game, so like he's very strong. So
Mhm. Okay.
I just wouldn't pick Lifestealer if I saw Razor was available. We can see what you did. We're just gonna watch real quick, just because it's a pretty short game. But I mean, it's just a lane of immense amount of defensive aggro. Uh, Rush boots. Looks like you kind of have that perspective already. Um,
Plus, I think in this game my support didn't help me either. Like, I think she left me in lane or something like that, and I got like smacked.
so far, I haven't really seen much different that you can do here. You've pulled continuously to your range creep. I probably would have strongly considered taking rage in this lane, just
Yeah, that's
in
something I
case
made. Yeah,
yeah, they like shard and then snowball or like razor Q. Yeah, like you would have rage here and break the link.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a pretty garbage matchup. And so the issue that I see here, the only one, is that it's a garbage matchup, and you're going normal skill build. So
Hmm.
uh, that's like pretty much a common indicator that you should adjust your skill builds and item builds is if you're in a bad matchup. So I'd say the first recognition is required that you are in a bad matchup. Maybe you didn't know you were in a bad matchup prior to the game. But yeah, this is just a situation where whenever you're in a bad matchup, you know the goal is to lose the lane less hard than you would in it otherwise. So, I'm imagining you probably would have saved 300 to 400 HP by having Rage instead of your point in Ghoul Frenzy. I also think like you just have to go boots. Like armor, I understand what you're thinking, but against Razor you just have to go boots because he links you and chases you down. In this circumstance, you're definitely supposed to go pull after this wave right here.
Okay.
I understand I have no support. I just can't lane up here against a counter matchup with no support. Like any counter matchup, I'd say somewhere along the lines like right around here somewhere, you know, that you can't really walk up. So if you go pull and the tusk stops you, you're kind of fucked. You know, like I'm gonna be honest, there's really not much you can do. Your other option is to stand like over here soaking XP. Let me see what day I had this replay. Maybe we can still see the stream. Because I definitely... Oh, I can watch it, because I downloaded it. This isn't the game I was thinking of. Was it this game? No. Was it this game? No, it was this game. And I downloaded it. Very similar matchup. Not as bad as Razor though. Just in lane, it's bad.
It was Viper in lane.
Yeah, Viper in lane. Yeah. So
Yep.
Same item build
Viper
to start.
is like, yeah.
I rushed boots, right? I have a pretty useless 5. I'll be honest, this guy didn't do much. So we're gonna like see some stark differences. You know, I rush boots. I level Rage level 1. In your case, level 2 Rage made sense, not level 1. I'm just against Viper, so you know, his poison attack or whatever. A lot of what you're doing, just continuous defensive aggro. I'm not really trying to win the lane or ever hit anybody. Using Rage to just remove damage. The way I view Rage in bad lanes is it's just like a tango. Basically, it's like, you know, you're saving yourself 100, 150 HP every time you use it. Absolute garbage lane. I'm not even walking up. You know, I would have if I'm against Bounty Hunter +1 and I'm ditched, I'm probably just giving up, you know. But like I have help, so he's pulling and stuff. Trying to keep the lane outside of tower and hit it for the sustain. But yeah, I mean, my lane doesn't look much better than yours, you know. Pretty similar. Difference being is that it's really important to just minimize losses in a lane like this. So notice how I'm not even like walking up for these creeps. I'm just accepting I can't get them. Literally just soaking XP as a carry.
So in this game, did you consider go Midas or? Oh, you did. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I went Armlet then Midas. I went Armlet then Midas because I thought we had to fight, and then I wanted to scale afterwards. So late Midas.
Okay. So my question here is, if like, I don't know, in retrospect, would you have gone Midas before Armlet in this kind of game?
I'm gonna have to watch it back. So let's just give it a sec here. You know, this game was like a month ago, so I just remembered having a similar Lifestealer game to what you experienced. Oh no, I can't go Midas because my other lanes are losing. I have an Alk mid, and I have other lanes that are losing. So I do.
Oh, okay.
So this is a game where if my lane looks like this, and my other 2 lanes are doing just dandy, I'll queue up the fucking Midas. Okay. Because I expect to have a little bit of time to use it. But if I buy Midas here, I mean, you can see what's going to happen, like the way I have to play, because I have a mid-Al. I haven't. So, like, look what happens, right? I have to actually interact with heroes here. We've lost literally 2 towers already. I'm gonna be forced to fight heroes, basically. I have Bounty Hunter chasing after me. I'm literally hanging out with my team mid. You know, this is a disaster of a game. But I'm like, oh, my teammates are getting dove? I have to do this. You know, I can't afford to buy Midas here. And this is purely predicting that... I mean, it's based off the Midas video, right? It's based off, like, how much area on the map I think I have to farm. Midas implies, like, I have this much area, and I can't really do much to change it. I can't gain area, and I can't lose it, really. But in this game, they have 3 winning lanes, and they have Bounty Hunter, so they're just going to run at us nonstop. I literally have 0 space to farm on the map, unless I kill people. So, like, I get a kill, so usually in games like this, kills will buy you, like, a minute or 2 of farm. That's really all they'll buy you. So I got my minute or 2 of farm. Now I'm back to like walking at a bounty hunter and wondering why my Bat Rider lasted him. But they have no BKB piercing disables, so if I'm a life stealer and I see an opportunity to do this against no BKB piercing stuns, I'll love to. Trying to get my armlet, but I have to rage TP because Viper bots. Dota's not really like, how do I word it? I've actually come to this realization before, or like just recently, is that there's a lot of games where it feels really fucking hard, like this, and it's not because, like, just because you're improving at Dota or you're really good at Dota doesn't mean that you'll have easy games. It just means that you need to win like 1 out of 10 of these games if you want to gain MMR, because everyone has them. There's just hard games out there. So this is a game where, like, notice I was trying to get armlet before I fought. You know, I was trying my best to get armlet, then finally got armlet. My team died. I'm curious what happens. I'm just going to look for some opportunity, I think. I think Viper TP top there. So I called for a smoke on this Bloodseeker. I said he's going to go for the next wave. Yeah. See, like, I'm infest ganking as Lifestealer at 17 minutes. That's going to allow us to farm, you know, for not even a creep wave. Hey, Bat Rider. Love farming with you, buddy. See ya. I didn't know why he was there. He got gone on by Viper himself. And I think this is when I queue up the Midas because we want to fight. Oh wait, no, I queue up the Midas. Okay, I queue up the Midas because this is a tough game. Like, I think I could have just gone Deso. But I feel like, oh, I queued up the Midas, wasn't sure, and then we won this fight. So I bought a Midas. I literally wasn't sure if I should buy a Midas, and then we won this fight. I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy a Midas. Because I'm like, I'm going to be stuck fighting for the rest of this game, and I could go Deso or, like, some other damage item, but I just wanted to scale with the amount of farm area we had, and I didn't think it was going to be much, even after winning that fight. Like, I just figured, like, that fight's going to allow my Alk to farm, not me. So I'm just going, like, fighting items with a Midas, basically. You know, fighting items with a Midas. So, okay. I mean, any other questions? I guess I didn't answer from your game about Lifestealers or like matchups or anything like that. Did I kind of miss the point there, or?
No. So I was going to ask about Viper, but I kind of saw like how to play against Viper in this game too. So kind of have an idea at least.
Yeah, you get to jack off and hate yourself while you play against Viper. You get to watch him kill all the creeps. You know, that's the gameplay against Viper. But yeah, so we talked about map awareness. You said that checking around the map hurts your map awareness, or sorry, hurts your like other stuff. Yeah. Definitely natural, to be expected. So, I'm glad you stuck with it though. That's important. I think there's a lot of things that, you know, we'll realize this is making me worse in the short term, and then we'll stop. So yeah, do you have a few replays in mind? Like, what do you, you know, what do we got?
So this is a jug game which I played. I made a lot of mistakes, I agree, but I think my map awareness was a lot better. It's a recent game, actually. A lot better than how it used to be.
Cool.
And, yeah. I made some dumb decisions, though, this game.
And I guess we'll be talking about them. So let's see what we got. So you got an AA. Means we lost our lane. Or no, you got a Lich. Never mind, we're good.
No, it's Lich, yeah.
Yeah, okay, Lich is strong.
30 seconds to battle. Down begin. The match of matches starts now. Someone lays blame.
Bloodseeker off lane. Okay.
They die by our hand, not yours. First blood.
First victim.
They die by our hand, not yours. First blood.
First victim.
Weird situation. Okay. Lane's pushing now. Way too many tangos. I saw you do it last game too. You had like 6 tangos. You need to minimize your tango purchases. You just have 6 tangos. I'd say your items just need to be more reactionary then. It's like if you buy 3 tangos to start the game, you fly yourself another 3 if you are down to 1 and you feel like you need more tangos. You know, it's not like I think I'll need 6 tangos. It's kind of like I'm buying these first 3 so that I always have them and then ready to buy more if I need them. That's because yeah, this is just kind of dead net worth right now. We could have the Wraith Band, maybe a stick, flying out to us right now. And the thing is, there's just a lot of variance in Dota, you know? You really have no idea how these enemies are going to play. Like, this Wind Ranger could have spent the entire lane hitting you, and your Lich just did nothing, you know? It could be Bloodseeker prioritizing harassing you rather than CSing. But in this case, they really haven't hit you at all. So, we've got to punish the fact that they're not doing that by saving net worth. Okay. I don't like the boots, to be honest, against a melee versus melee. I would like so. The good thing I like is that you bought the boots and then tried to do that. Sucks that they're in your backpack, but you know, the idea is that you thought, I'm going to chase after this Wind Ranger. You're against a 4 who's just elusive. You know, she's kind of useless. Like, she does very little damage. She's gonna like poke you down and stuff, but. If you've noticed in the lane so far, you've spent most of it interacting with Bloodseeker, right? If like, you know, we could rewind and fast forward through it, you know, most of it is you and Bloodseeker right in front of each other. The Wind Ranger hasn't even interacted with you at all. Maybe 2 attacks right there. The rest of it's just you and Bloodseeker going at it, going for some CS, right? So if you're okay. So when you're against dual lanes, obviously, you just need to consider which hero is more of a problem for you. That's what I want you to think about. So it's like, sometimes it's the support, like, absolutely. Like, sometimes it's some tiny 4 that's going to wrap around and kill you. Sometimes it's like some Grimstroke who's going to ink swell and try to kill you. Sometimes it's going to be some hoodwink that's going to try to harass you down and set up for the other guy. In that case, I'll buy Quelling Blade and maybe some boots and try to like make sure I don't get stunned by Hoodwink. But like in this lane, I feel like pretty much all of your actions are going to be dictated by Bloodseeker. You're going to be trading with him a lot. You're going to be CSing a lot right in front of him. So if it's melee versus melee and you're worried about that, you definitely just go for stat items. So it's probably Wraith Band Wand first. Probably... boots after that. Yeah, so you could have had the Wraithband Wand first and then Boots now, and it would have all been good. Curious why you're saving up. You're going phase? Bad healing word micro, GG. Oh, what is going through your mind that you don't want to like buy the Wraithband and shit? What are you thinking?
Actually, I wasn't thinking anything, to be honest.
I see.
Maybe that's why, like, bad decisions.
I see. Are you... Just refresh me, is this usually a problem for you, or is this like something to do with map awareness work on, or like what's...
Okay,
Like...
so... multiple things in work here, actually.
Okay, sure.
This past month, I have not been playing a lot of Dota, to be honest.
Okay.
So, but this game was after I played few games, and I was okay with like the basic stuff, right? But usually I do think about like what items should I go in lane, like what should I buy and all that, right? And how I should play the lane. But this game I wasn't, because what I realized is like if I move around my camera too much, that is something that I can't acquire like instantly. So what I do is try to constantly look at the minimap, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I force myself to look at the minimap. So a lot of things that I was that I used to think before, I stopped doing that in lane. Yeah. So what I think right now is once that becomes natural to me, right? Like looking at the minimap and moving around the camera, then the things that I used to do before, I think I'll again.
Resume doing them.
Start doing them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. That makes sense. Thank you for the explanation. Yeah. I think that mentality is fine. I don't have anything to say about that. So definitely some issues here with the items and such, but understandable why it's happening. Yeah. Let's keep moving on.
I think I die here. Yeah.
So, like, what led up to this exactly, right? So...
I actually didn't expect Tiny to be here.
I mean, we talked about map awareness, right? So, something to consider always. Like, the parts that add up here is that you have 2 heroes dead, and their mid is not farming the wave. This is probably the #1 indicator that the mid is here. There's just a wave, and he's not farming it.
Okay, yeah.
Really important to understand for mid laners that they like have to farm every creep wave if they want to keep up with the enemy mid. So it's not that this guy's like fucking up, but it's that if this guy is not farming this wave, that he is definitely doing something that he deems more important than a creep wave, which is pretty important. Like a creep wave is pretty important. So like I see creep wave not being farmed, 2 heroes dead. You know, hindsight 2020, you're like 100% getting ganked here, like by the metrics going on right here, right? Okay, I don't want to say 100% getting ganked. You're probably like 60% getting ganked here. Okay, it's like the other 40% is maybe Tiny just like went and farmed small and like walked back to lane. You know, in which case, if he is farming small, we would know that in like 5 seconds. You know, like he's gonna finish the camp and then he's gonna like walk back to lane and we're gonna see. So we're kind of on like a timer if we see this happening. I start to think about whether or not the enemy mid is going to rotate on me. Well, I think about it pregame, first and foremost. I think, like, because it affects the way I play the lane if I know the enemy mid will gank me. So what I mean by that is that if the enemy mid is really greedy, say it's like a TA or an ALK, and I know I'm going to win my lane, or like I think I'm going to win my lane, at any indicator that I'm going to win my lane, I look to shit on the guy that I am laning against. Because, like, the worst thing that can happen as a carry is you're winning, so you're level 6, off lane's level 4 or 5, you play up here, and the enemy mid comes and kills you. And it's like, rough, you know? That's like one of the worst ways to throw away a lead. So I consider at the start of the game, you know, am I going to be allowed to press my advantage against whatever person I am against? Because that's largely comes down to the mid laner. And so if that's the case where the mid laner is a active hero, I'll pretty much exclusively push the lane in and go farm, you know, or like go pull. You could even argue like pulling here is good. If you're ever super afraid of an enemy mid rotation, resetting the lane back is like really important. There are actually like a few. There's actually like a game from Aster, or no, it was actually from RNG, I think, where the enemy mid was like walking like this. Ana like pulled the wave back, so that the wave was under his tower instead of being like up here. The opponent then like tried to dive him, and they all died for it because his team like TP'd in and helped him and stuff underneath the tower. But it's like one of those ganks that the carry actually set up because, you know, he pulled the lane back in the first place. All I'm really saying here is, you know, I was trying to tell you based on what you see on the map what this can tell you, and then options you can do to like minimize likelihood of death from the enemy mid fucking with you. So, like, basically, the way I look at this situation is that the more likely it is that I'm going to get ganked by mids past, like, 5-6 minutes, the less likely it is that I'll ever engage opponents where we're both going to drop low. Okay, it's different if you have your puck, you know, walking to here, you know, saying, hey, I'm coming, go on him. It's very different, right? But in this case, they're the ones that have that. You know, the tiny's like, hey, guys, I'm coming. And they're running at you for a reason. So this is just you basically getting baited by your support to do save a buddy's shit. And now you're going to die too. I have a lot of supports in my bracket that would tell me to help them there. And I say, hey, man, Tiny's missing. And I will not help them. So, on the days where I'm in a good mindset, that is my response. On the other days, I go do what you did and be like, fuck, why'd I let him bait me? And that's the other result.
Here I die again, I think.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're just straight up laning against Bloodseeker when he's 6 and you're 5.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, literally.
Yeah, you had about 30 seconds to realize it. I'm not sure how much of this is going wrong based on the map awareness thing, or if it's just something you would do wrong in general. It's hard to know.
I think that mistake, it was not because of map awareness, it was straight up down.
I see. Okay. Yeah, just considering which heroes I want to lane up straight up, or lane against straight up, very important. I think this is weird. Not really sure why you did this. The common skill build for Jug is to go 4-2-1 stats. So this kind of weird champ.
So, like a level 2 in my crits, right?
Yeah, the level 2 in crit.
So what I thought there was, because I was going to farm for a while, I think I need a little bit more.
Do you know what the #1 limiting factor on farm is?
No.
Death, my friend. Death.
Okay.
You know who kills you? This guy.
Tiny, yeah. Okay.
You know what helps against that guy killing you? Stats. And healing ward.
Okay.
Crit does not help you. Right now, crit effectively gives you 4% damage. So you can just tell me if 4 right-click damage is worth it compared to 2 stats. Like, if you really think about it, so if you're effectively giving up 2 stats to get 2 damage, you're like, I'd rather have a Fairy Fire than a Circlet. That's what you're basically saying. at this stage in the game. So yeah.
Okay, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, that's why nobody goes crit on Jug. Yeah, wouldn't you rather have 2 points healing ward here?
Yeah, exactly. I think here I realized, okay, I should have done more.
So I like where your head's at. This is just people don't do this on Jug kind of thing.
This should make my life easier.
Okay, they're being like real nice and just letting you farm triangles. That's nice of them. You are scaring the fuck out of me. There's just a tiny with a... Yeah, that was scary. I would have spun that and run the fuck away, my friend.
I was confident that if Tiny wanted to go on me, I could just spin.
That's bold. Then everyone's on lich. Fuck. Okay. Okay, we got a kill. Nice.
So I think the way I'm like trying to look at other lanes by moving my camera, this is new to me. What I just did, like 1 or 2 movements, but that's kind of big deal for me right now.
Oh, it is a big deal. 2 is way more than 0. Most carries live in their own little world in the jungle. You know, you versus the jungle, mini battle. And it's really hard to snap you guys out of it, I think. It took me probably 2 years of getting told I need to think about the map more to actually trust people around me to check the map. I was pretty stubborn, so it's not just a you thing, you know. I mean, basically what you learn is that around 3K, 4K, most people can hit jungle creeps pretty well, okay? Like, they'll have some pretty decent efficiency. Like, your farming patterns are pretty solid. You know, you're going between lane and jungle. You're actually doing a good job of that. And, like, you know, you're using your spells. You're trying to balance your health and mana usage. Like, all these things are pretty reasonable. So then the way you use these spells, the camps you farm, the positioning you have while you farm them, all that kind of stuff, purely comes down to what else is happening in the game, you know? And so if you just don't check what else is happening in the game, then you'll probably just do the same thing every game, the way you farm camps and stuff. And then some games that's just going to work, and then some games it's not. So yeah, my only gripe here is that you don't have, or that you have this instead of stats. It's either 4-3-1 or 4-2-1 stats. It's up to you there. Yeah, it's just that's kind of just the way Jug gets played. It's just the fact that your main source of damage is this, which doesn't even use this. And yeah, I mean, it's been long agreed upon at my level that this is not worth taking over more than 1 point. So, okay, we TP away. Let's walk top. Gotta be careful when we... So this is an example where you gotta be careful because you used TP to get here. So, like, even if, like, right here, I'm looking at the map and all I see is tree, you know? And I used a TP to get here, which my biggest reaction in this game is, like, to spend TP. So, like, if I'm farming this creep wave, I'm doing it, like, over here. Like, I'm gonna, like, walk this way, Quelling Blade this tree, be, like, on the far left of this lane, right? And the reason why is map awareness wise. So we see one guy mid, and we see our 3 teammates here. So based on like where I see enemies and allies, there's just very unlikely to be any enemies over here. Based on like the fact that we just killed a couple people here, and my team was playing bottom most of the time, so the enemy team is most likely in these two jungles because of this. So that's going to adjust the way I play. Like, if I feel perfectly safe to farm the creep wave you're farming, I'm going to do it like you did here. Okay? This is like walk out the range creep first, you know, all that kind of stuff. I would be, like, super passive here. Because, like, what if Tiny's just right here, you know? And Bloodseeker's right here as well. So you really... This is, like, tough map awareness stuff, so I'm trying to see how I can, like, make sure it sticks. Like, this is not safe at all. I mean, we see in hindsight that there's a Bloodseeker here. But fortunately, Tiny, I think, ends up showing mid. Yeah, he's mid right now. Good players would definitely camp you here and just kill you. They would see that you TP'd away and follow you. So tentatively, what I try to do when I'm not sure what's going on in the game is I play to places that I know what's going on. So that's wards, my friend. So like right here, I would be clearing this wave defensively, and I would make a path to the ward that's closest to me. So that's this ward over here. It's this ward here. This ward gives me a lot of information. So I would probably walk down the lane, like on the far left. You know, I would far left walk it over here. Honestly, if I don't see Tiny by the time this next creep wave shows up, I'm literally waiting in the trees until I see Tiny. Like, that is what I'm going to do. If I see Tiny, then I go clear the wave and go from there. So that's what I would do here. Yeah, usually you'll end up walking to the place you should have gone in the first place. So that's what you do here. I don't agree with the shard purchase. I think you just need to go survivability items. Just need to go Manta, maybe even a Scotty or something on top of it. This is a BSJ TP. You should just stay top. So the reason why you should stay top is you have a nice map position going here. Somebody's inevitably going to react to what you're doing here. On the enemy team. Like, I need you to know, like, when the enemy team's winning and this is happening, like, they're gonna react to it. If they don't react to it, it's like a really big deal that you're just getting this tower for free. So I want you to think that, like, if one of them TP's here and you were considering joining a fight down here, that's gonna make joining the fight just, like, infinitely better. That one of them TP'd here. So in regards to map awareness, if you guys are pushing lanes like this and the opponent isn't responding, just make them respond, basically. If you're afraid of them, like the Tiny could have, like, TP'd into this little cubby over here and killed you, what you can do is you can, like, Quelling Blade this tree, walk back a little bit, be like, where's the Tiny? Where's the PA? What's going on here? I'm not sure where they are. And then what's going to happen is you're going to do that. You're going to see them bottom, like you just saw them. PA jumped in, Tiny's over here. And then you walk back up to the tower, you know? You did that. You actually did this. You, like, Quelling Bladed the tree, you walked back. But now it's, like, the perfect opportunity, since we see heroes, to just walk back and hit this tower. This is a really important tower. So this TP is just really bad. I will tell you 10 times over. What Quakefoot would say to me is, Brian, or BSJ, tower, creep wave. It's going to be 21 minutes. Farm, 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 farm. Next creep wave. Farm. And you TP? That would be exactly how Quakefoot says it, okay? Basically, every point in the game, what it comes with map awareness is how much around me do I have to farm, based on what is currently happening in the game. So if you have stuff to do that's a lot of gold around you, don't TP to fights. Just don't. It's a very common misconception of carry players. Now, every single chatter in my chat's going, but BSJ, my team will rage ping me. Well, okay, if you want to listen to your 3K teammates, that's fine. You know, I can't really help you guys because you guys are always there. Okay, but yeah, bad TP. We want to stay top, pressure the tower, get the camps that respawn here at 21 minutes, clear this creep wave, free tower. Look at all this stuff we could be doing up here. It's a fucking oyster up here. We can do literally anything. Instead, we're just walking back to there.
His middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This should make my life easier.
So I think if you have the mindset that you want to stay top as much as possible, force somebody to react to you and maybe take a fight off of it, you wouldn't go shard. Like, I think if that's your game plan, you would adjust. I feel like you thought I have to, like, try to help my team or something, so I go shard.
Yep.
Which is just
I
wrong.
usually go full manta. After that, I get shard.
I see. Yeah, I
this
just...
game I thought maybe I can TP and help.
Yeah. You're basically in a tough game again, and you're doing weird things to ruin your own game at the sake of trying to help your team. That's a BSJ special right there. Okay. Stick to your guns, man. Play up here, push in the tower, be chill. You force like 2 heroes to react and get out, you're fucking winning, you know? You're Charlie Sheening it. Hashtag winning. But in this case, the fact that that tower's still alive, I can tell you is a massive deal. I can give you all the, reassurance in the world that all you needed to do was hit that tower. You don't need to do anything fancy and go to this team fight. That tower being alive is a smack to your face. You know, you're not allowed to leave that tower alive. Give me a second here. I'm getting a message.
Sure.
Okay. If you leave this tower alive, it just limits your farming area drastically. Notice how, like, you felt scared even right here. You have to, like, go back. I want you to see, like, how much this is making you scared, even if you're not realizing it in game. If this tower is dead, you can play, like, right here pretty safely. Go push out the wave, like, right here and back off. It's just opening up 2 jungle camps and, like, 1,000 units of the lane that you'll feel safe. And because you left it alive, it just doesn't feel safe. You're also against tree, so missing an opportunity to take a tower is a pretty big deal.
I was trying to hold that guy, but that didn't happen.
What led up to this fight here?
Actually, I was against this fight, to be honest. But he kind of called me the coil, and I thought I had to do something.
You know, man, this is... It's funny. What I think is funny is how often my viewers or coaching students exhibit my behavior. It's not like a... It's not like a bragging thing, like, oh, you guys all want to be like me. It's just like, I have to believe that if you guys watch me enough, that you would probably pick up some of my habits. I just have to imagine, especially if you're trying to learn Dota from me. This is like BSJ habit, literally worst one. This is the worst fucking habit I have in the entire game. And that's just this. I feel like I need to help my team. That is just the most misguiding habit you could possibly have, because basically what I'm trying to say is that you're basically assessing a game, like a calculated game, off of morality. I don't know if that makes sense, but you're basically guilt tripping yourself into helping the team. Okay, I know that sounds weird when you put it out like that, but so many carry players feel like I felt like I had to help my team. I feel like my team needed me, and my issue is maybe you guys aren't thinking of it morally or whatever at all. Maybe I'm just this isn't encompassing all players or whatever. But the thing about Dota is it's all about how your hero feels, okay? It's like, if you feel strong enough to help your team, then you go. If you are having a really good game, then you take over the map, and you make sure you show up to fights and, you know, bring people down and all that kind of stuff. But, like, if you're having a bad game, then, like, everything you see should be, is this an opportunity to recover? Like that's what you're thinking, like, because that's your hero's state right now. You know, there's no, like, I feel like I need to be there. My team looked like they needed me. It's like, no, I'm having a bad game. I need to recover. Is that best done by farming these 6 creep camps and a tower, or is that best done by TPing into a fight? Like, certain heroes are different, you know. Maybe if you're like a Faceless Void with Chrono, it might have been better to like TP into that fight or something. But like as a Jug, this hero really likes to like pressure a specific lane and make people react to him. And in worst case, he spin TPs and, you know, uses Healing Ward to siege the tower, all that kind of stuff. That's like what makes Jug, you know. So it's like all I'm trying to tell you is, not to ramble on too long, is to think about the game through the lens of your own hero, not your teammates. So try to have a thought, like this can be your next thought after you looking around the map and stuff. Have like a general level in your head of how much you think your hero wants to fight in the game. It's like, I feel really strong, I want to fight, or like, I feel really weak, I'm recovering, you know? It's like, in this game, if I'm having a bad game as Jug, I'm pretty much an Omni Slash, you know, like for however long it takes to get items, you know, I'm pretty much just going to Omni Slash people, and that's my fight contribution. So if I want to like walk over to a fight, Omni Slash somebody and spin away, that's like a pretty reasonable fight contribution, I would say. So like if you're going to go to this fight, you know, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to Omni Slash this tree, you know, and then nope, this is over. You know, that's like what I'd be thinking. You know, it's already over. I don't want to Omni Slash near like 4 heroes, right? So, like that would be my degree of helping there. Oh, Omni Slash tree? Oh, nah, he ran away. I'm gonna like run back top now. That's exactly how I would have thought about that. You don't owe your team anything, guys. Your team wants to win as well. So if you do stuff to help them, you're probably making them lose. That's how I'd like you guys to think about it. So, get our own D ward, very cool. The message I always have to carry players like you is you guys aren't sticky enough to top lane. Please just stay top! Oh, he's just gonna let you Omni Slash him. Okay, somehow that worked out. I don't know how that fucking worked. Nice TP. Very nice. I actually can't believe that worked. But that was cool. Okay. We're back in the game. We got top tower. Pog.
That was the creeps.
Yeah. It was. Okay, we don't quite have our item yet.
Yeah, that's what I told my team actually. I remember that I need my MK before I go to the next fight. Then I was like, yeah, we need to go bottom. We can fight that, but this was a really dumb decision, which I like hated the moment that I went there. Like I shouldn't have gone there. Why did I go? I was screaming, I don't want to fight there, but they took a fight, and I was like, I don't know.
Okay, guys. This is a nice learning opportunity for all of us. All I need you guys to do on carry is establish your willingness to fight, and then the next level, the next degree of skill involved is where you think you would want to fight. Okay. And that's it. How much do you want to fight and where would it be? If you're like on a scale of like 10 out of 10, I really want to fight people, then generally you're not going to be picky about location, you know? But if you're like anywhere below a 10, you'll probably have an idea of, you know, I don't want to walk into their triangle. I don't want to walk into any high ground where I think they have a ward. I don't want to be in the Roche pit, you know, during the fight, like whatever, you know, there's going to be some restrictions. And yeah, you just did the classic, you know, you said, I don't want to be here. You literally exited on the map and circled here, and then a fight happens here and you go to it. That's, you know as well as I, the only mistake I can tell you is that you didn't want to fight there and you fought there. Just, if you don't want to fight there, just don't. Literally just don't. Like, you actually thought about it. Like, it's not like you ended up in this fight and you're like, ah, shit, this sucks. Why did we fight here? You literally were like, I don't want to fight here. I want to go here. And then a fight happened here, and you're like, oh, my team. And then you went and helped them, you know, and just don't. Just don't. If you have that thought, trust yourself. The only correction I can give you is that you should listen to your own decisions.
One more thing about that, about like decisions, right? So what I've found out that if I listen to my teammates, I usually perform worse, like a lot worse.
Okay.
Not because like I play worse, but because I get baited into so many stupid things that I don't want to do, right? So what I do usually is just mute everyone and play. But in some games, some people will like get like flamed and like say, this guy has muted us and start throwing the game. So it's like a weird, like 50-50 situation for me right now.
Okay.
I don't know what to do, really.
Well, the short-term solution, if you feel like you get baited by your teammates, is to mute them and learn what it's like to play without their input and just kind of play. But inevitably, that's pretty toxic if you do that all the time. Like, if you're just permanently saying, hey, guys, I'm going to mute myself, like, good luck. Because Dota is like a communication game, you know, it definitely matters. Like, all the best players, I'd say 80% of them communicate a lot in pubs, you know? Like, some of them are just so fucking good, always in the right place, that they just really say nothing. But most of them communicate. So the other solution is like, or not the other solution, but like the next step to your solution needs to be that you can hear suggestions and say no. Like, that's really all there is to it. You're really much like me, like here. You just don't want to say no to people, and you don't want to be telling them. It's not even like. It's almost like you're afraid of confrontation. You know, I think I kind of did it because I was afraid of confrontation. It's like you don't want to hear them and say no to them. You'd rather just act like they're not saying anything. Which the problem with this. Go ahead. Maybe I'm misreading.
Yeah, actually, not exactly the case. What happens is if I say no to something, and I've done before, like I used to not mute everyone and mute only people who are toxic, right? But what happens is when I say no to some person, no, I don't want to do that, then he starts arguing like, no, what you're thinking is wrong, and that like devolves into a stupid argument situation where everyone is arguing with everyone else and not playing, right?
I see.
So right now what I'm thinking is maybe I can mute everyone in this bracket, and when I maybe go climb a little bit up, then I can start unmuting and start to listen to other people. Because what I feel right now is most of the people, they take decisions not on the basis of like what's happening on the map, but on the basis of like their feeling. That I don't know. So that's
no, I understand. This is a tough one, right? I'd say the majority of your mistakes have been some feeling of needing to help your team here. That's pretty much all of your mistakes. So for people watching, and also you, I can definitely reassure you that, or not reassure you. I can definitely tell you that Dota is like 90% mental, right? And pretty much you are like me right now, where you pretty much need to purely work on your mentality. I would say your overall mechanics and farming patterns are above 3100. But you are, I mean, the way I look at it is you're making decisions that are not your own, you know? And it's like easy to tell in the game. I've actually, now that I realize that I did it a lot and I know when I'm doing it and I know what it looks like when I'm doing it, like I'm watching your gameplay, I wouldn't even have to be discussing with you. I feel like knowing that your farming patterns were decent and then seeing these decisions, I just know these aren't your own decisions. Yep. There's a few things here. We kind of got to break it down. You can't really teach somebody how to play Dota in the middle of a game. I think that's like a big misconception that my viewers have. They always tell me, like, when I say I have a disagreement with this guy, why don't you tell him what to do? So I guess I'll just use this situation as an example, okay? So there are players out there that I know. They're like top 100 players, and they would be very good about communicating, getting their team from where they are right here to the other half of the map, okay? They would do something, whether it's their charisma, their tone, I don't fucking know. They would say something that would get their team to play where they want them to play. Like, say you want to play top, that they would do something that would get their team to go there, okay? Obviously, there's going to be some teammates that, regardless, they just won't go there. But what I'm saying is they'll have some sort of communication skill to move the team. And I've actually noticed that a lot of top-tier players also don't have this skill. Okay, there's many top players that do not have the ability to do this. And I've watched some of these players firsthand. I've actually talked to them. I've seen it in scrims, you know, some of them being people I've watched in person. And this is what happens. They're in a team environment. They're in an actual scrim, and they will pull up the replay and talk about this situation. But what happens in the game is these four guys will fight here, and they'll just farm right here. And they'll be like, I didn't want you guys bottom for this reason, this reason, this reason. Rewind it like a minute and be like, at this point, instead of going here, I needed you guys to go here for this reason. That's like what would happen, okay, in the replay review. But what I'm trying to tell you is that you need to play your own game. If you see something that is not in your game plan, you don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to argue or tell the people on your team that they're wrong. But you're just not going to go. Like, just don't participate in whatever that is. You'd be amazed at, like, literally at the highest level, the carry players I watch, they will just ignore their team if their team is not playing according to their hero. That's what scrims are for. Like, that is literally why teams scrim. This shit happens all the time. Like, this is not 3200 MMR, you know? Like, you will see this mistake that your team is making, or, like, not mistake. You'll see the disconnect that your team has with your hero in literally every bracket. Like, that happens. That never stops. Like, literally never stops. People need to understand your hero as well as you do. Generally speaking, like, they have to know how to play Jug, but they also have to be, like, aware of your power level in the game as well as your hero, like, as well as you do about your own hero. And people just aren't playing your hero, man. It's like, let me tell you, like, let me ask you, how strong is Puck right now? It's like, you know, it's going to take you at least 20, 30 seconds to, like, break it down, you know, like, figure it out for yourself. And that's time in a game you just don't have, you know, you may think my Puck is strong. That's, like, about as like accurate as you can go sometimes. It's like, my Puck is strong, or like, my Puck is strong at split pushing. You know, that's what I see here. I'll be like, he's pretty survivable. He can go split push. That's what I would see with this build, you know? That's about all I know. Okay? But it's like, if I were to ask you about your own hero, you could give me a way more in-depth description than that, right? Like, than like a one-sentence thing. So, I want you... I'm really coming up with the best way to say this succinctly, is like, you see your teammates doing something, you don't like it, do what you want to do in the game. Just do it. Literally just fucking do it. And if they're yelling at you, the worst thing you could ever do, coming from personal experience, and I'll still do it sometimes, is defend yourself. Just don't. Do not be defensive. I'll actually have a question for anybody watching. You can answer yourself. What if somebody is defensive? What does it tell you about them?
He's not sure about his decision.
Exactly. They have no self-fucking confidence in their own decision. They have no conviction, no confidence, no assertiveness. That is what it tells you. And like, I suffer immensely from this, okay? Like, I struggle so much. So what happens is, when you defend yourself to this puck, not only does he think you're wrong, but he thinks you're a fucking coward, right? He just thinks you're a fucking pussy. Like, that's what he thinks, because he hears it in your voice. You know, if you argue with him and get defensive about the way you want to play, like, that's what they hear, man. No, like, the guy he's just going to be sparked to want to shit on you more, because people don't respect you when you do that. Like, they actually just don't, you know? It's like, it's weird, but you think you're being polite. You think you're trying to, like, you know, talk to this guy about what to do in the game. You're trying to, like, work as a team. But all of your teammates here is a guy that's not confident in what he's doing, and they don't agree with what you're doing. So that's what they hear, you know? And I have had so many people that just don't respect me as a player, don't like playing with me in pubs, and I never understood why. Like, I actually was like, I always thought I was trying to win, you know? But it's because of this. It is 100% because of this. I'm fully aware of it. It's actually incredibly miserable to play with. Like, you know. And it's not something that I should be ashamed of or you should be ashamed of. This isn't like a flame. This is literally like, let's just understand what our teammates are thinking about us, right? Like this is what they're thinking. So, like, if you're in a situation like this, and your team does a fight like this, you can just say, like, hey, guys, I'm not going to be there. Like, that's, like, your amount of communication. And if one of them gets so angry at you that it's, like, disruptive to the game, then just mute the guy. Like, that's when you have to mute, right? That's when you have to cut off the comms. But, like, if they get really mad at you, like, I don't even respond to people at that point. Like, I just don't even respond. Like, I want to hear what they're saying in case, like, something they're saying is relevant to me. But at some point, if I feel like whatever they're saying, I can't process the game anymore, I just mute them, okay? Like, I just have to. Because I feel like the longer I leave them unmuted in that state, the more likely I am to getting baited into arguing with them, okay? And the thing is, man, if that guy's going to argue with you, you know, you have two choices. One was to, like, listen to his call blindly, and let's think about doing that every single game, how that's going to work out for you. And then two is to, like, be civil, mute him, and play your game. And if that guy's going to break his items, that's his MMR, not yours. Okay? Like, that's his MMR. If you argue with him and create a situation where it's like a back and forth, just, like, argument that disrupts the game, that's actually your MMR. Meaning, like, you were a part of that. Like, you had control over that situation happening, okay? That's what I want you to realize, is that, like, people breaking their items, that does not reflect your MMR. That reflects theirs, and that's all we can do. Like, it's like, in the game itself, that feels like shit to acknowledge, right? You're just like, I still lost the fucking game.
Yeah.
But that is how it is. Like, if you manage to handle these situations better, you will gain MMR. Even if sometimes the guy still breaks his items, okay? It is what it is. You can't control these other people. You just can't. So, wanted you to stay bottom. You said you didn't want to fight bottom. You said you wanted to go top. So all I need in your next session, if we can make a goal out of it, is whatever you thought you were supposed to do, just fucking do it. If it was what you thought you were supposed to do, that's fine. Okay? Like, we can correct from there. Right? But, like, that's been my biggest issue recently. Or, like, not biggest issue recently, but the issue that I think is most important that I currently work on is making my own decisions my own. And it comes from a lack of confidence in what you're doing. And lack of confidence comes with defensiveness. So I've I've actually said this. I literally said this on stream like 6 days ago. I said, I need to stop defending myself. Why am I fucking justifying myself to you guys? Like, I would even say, I do it to my viewers too, where, you know, my viewers like flame my Midas or flame my items or the way I played the game. And it's like, as a streamer, if people flame you and then you get defensive about it, it just, they just want to do it more. You know? They just want to fuck with you more. They're like, we got him. Fuck this guy.
No, I totally agree, man. I totally agree.
Oh.
Like, each time I do that, I've noticed that the game is not just a game, it becomes a psychological battle, and that's stupid.
And you'll notice that it actually results in worse because your teammates don't respect you either. So,
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it actually makes it worse. Okay, so the enemy team throws a little bit. We're back. Unfortunate. Does the Bloodseeker have heals? He does. Yeah. What the fuck? That's like the Guess the Hero edition or some shit.
Yep.
I'll say this much. So, when you're losing, there has to be some threshold you can hit as a carry that allows you to be survivable. Okay. What I basically felt like happened was, since you went Shard, you were actually playing super scared on the map because you didn't have the ability to play up here. And by playing up there, you're going to get more items. You're going to pressure. You're going to split the opponent up and all that kind of stuff. And in this case specifically, the reason why you weren't playing up is because you didn't have Manta, right? Like, you didn't have survivability against the tree root and all that. So I feel like all of your items scream to me to counter like opponent heroes, and none of them other than Manta are like actually good for your hero. So I basically want you to like rethink that balance in terms of like what helps you play the map better. So it's a little weird for this game because there's so many moving parts that affected your decision making. But what I'm trying to tell you to think about, maybe to remember, is that when you're considering what your own decisions are, I want your items to enable your map play. Okay, like I want you to be like, I want to play here on the map. I want to do this. What item helps me do that? Okay, what you'll realize is, like, generally speaking nowadays, it's more important that your items help you play the map, because usually items that help you play the map will also help you in fights. But the majority of the game, you're farming the map. You're not fighting, right? So we want our items to cater to the majority of the game. So usually, like, maybe our 4th or 5th item will be only for fights. You know, it'll be like, I need to kill PA, so I'm going to go with this MKB. You know, you'd go like Manta, Scotty. You go Maelstrom, Manta, Scotty, MKB. You know what I mean? Like, that's the item that would come out for fights. But like the Scotty, it'd help you in fights, but it would also help you on the map because it's giving you an extra 600 HP. That's just an example. All I'm trying to say is I feel like your items are too much about fighting and not enough about helping you play the map. I mean, I'm down to watch the rest of this, but I also am down to move on to another game. Kind of up to you. If you have another game in mind. Let's just see. So you have a Roche fight. They get it. You didn't have Omni Slash. You're going to go to your team bottom here. Okay. Oh, Bloodseeker's throwing? No? Oh, I would have gone for that. That's interesting.
I came back because I saw them taking my mid tower and didn't want them to.
I see. I will say this. So at 36 minutes, the most important thing is map control. So I want you to think about this. So we see Bloodseeker. When he does this, like what he's doing right now, he's either like what's Bloodseeker gonna do here, right? He just finished this wave. What's he gonna do? There's two options.
Either he continues push or maybe joins his team back in the lane.
And he'll like head back this way or some shit, right? And go join his team. So this is an example where, because of that awareness, you're supposed to skip the small camp be ready for the one option he has here.
Okay.
One of his two options. And if he makes that choice, you kill him. If he doesn't make that choice, you go back and farm the small camp.
Okay.
It's like an awareness reversal of orders. This is a little bit higher level shit, but the later the game goes, the less obligated you are to killing literally every camp in front of you. Okay, I'd say it's like up until maybe 25, you're gonna almost always want to kill camps. Like it's I don't want to say like black and white though. This is like a scale, you know. The earlier on the game you are, the more likely it is that you should kill every camp along the way. Okay, like, because at that rate, and at that stage in the game, accelerating your farm is like the most important thing you can do. But like at the later we go, it becomes much more about map control, killing people. Like, because one kill at this stage in the game turns into so much, right? It's compared to like one kill at 15 minutes. You know, it's just not as big of a deal. So yeah, you definitely should skip this small camp. Be ready to see if this Bloodseeker shows on the creep wave and then kill him. Because it's like, you'll see it as an example where you're just like, you wish you were there like 2 seconds earlier. You know, you wish you were spinning on top of this guy like right now. And that what also is good about that is you're like worried about mid. You make a quick play on Bloodseeker and then you come back to mid, you know? So same idea, but instead of farming the small camp, you... yeah, you get it. Okay, so some shit going on here. I can't believe you're not Omni Slashing. Yeah, I feel like that Tiny was like... What did this Tiny even do? Oh, he was frostbitten. Yeah, why isn't he going on you here? Yeah, I think he just goes on you and maybe... Huh. Okay.
So the reason why I was waiting was because Pia has blur, so I thought maybe once his silence like no flash.
I see, you didn't want to get blurred. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just so scared of the Tiny. Like I didn't want to get avalanche combo tossed by Tiny while while PA was hitting me. Okay. Okay. This has actually been a common issue for you. Let's rewind.
Okay.
So you guys are killing their base. What I need you to think now is that you're retreating from their base. 3 of them are dead, and 2 of them are in your vision. So you have literally all the information in the world. So what this means is I need you to like effectively quote unquote set up camp as aggressively as possible on the map, and on the next minute farm backwards. Okay, because what's going to happen is you're literally just going to take all their farm. Like you're just going to farm your way off of their side of the map where they're going to be respawning to nothing. Like this PA and Tiny will have literally no camps. And then you'll make your way back. And if you think about it, if you're farming backwards as they're respawning, you're naturally like kiting them. You know, you're just like taking all of their farm, and they can't really catch up to you because you're like walking away. You know, they're catching up to you at like the rate it takes for you to do a camp, you know, and they have to close some gap between here to like here, you know, it's like a long gap they have to close. So what happens here is that the message to remind you of, there's a lot going on in this session, but every time you have a lot of information, whether that's because 4 people are showing, whether that's because 2 or 3 people are dead, I want you to place yourself as aggressively on the map as possible and farm backwards. And that's something you haven't really done all game, but I didn't want to... this is the most simplest example. This is like, that's happened so far this game. It's very simple when you think about it. I want you to like farm like this camp right now, and then farm it again at 39, and then just do like this back to your ancients, you know? But what's going to happen here is, you know, you could even argue doing like this camp and farming your way back this way because Roche isn't alive yet. But you guys just left them camps. Like PA is going to go farm this camp. You know, somebody on their team's probably going to farm this one at some point. They almost assume you did them, actually. That's interesting. But yeah. just kind of see what the enemy team did. You know, they respawned and farmed out some camps and walked their way out on the map. And that's something you can shut down if you have the time, which you did in this game. Okay.
Dire are scanning for enemies.
Okay, here I made like mechanical mistakes where instead of pressing R, I pressed TP.
Is under attack. Dire structures fortified.
Yeah, exactly. Here I pressed TP instead of like, pressing R. Then I kind of fucked that one.
Okay. I understand the obviously mechanical mistakes are annoying, but what does like? I'm just curious. You know, when you're in the middle of the game and Treant TP's in like that, what are you thinking?
Maybe they're setting up for a kill, but I thought we could kill the Trion before
Okay.
5 stars. So
Okay, so you think like you could maybe kill the tree and potentially they're setting up for a kill.
yeah.
Okay. And let me just get on the same page. So in hindsight, if that's what you're thinking, your response would be to hit the tower. Do you agree with your decision to hit the tower here?
Actually, I can't think of anything, to be honest.
So, what do you mean you can't think of anything? Sorry.
I mean, how does that affect my decision to take the tower? That's my question, actually.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I'm just trying to hear your thoughts, you know, so I didn't know what you meant. So, like, do you hear what is this feeling you have? What?
Actually, I was really confident that if a fight breaks out here, we could win. To be honest,
Okay.
because I
Okay.
had
I'm
my
not
ults
actually.
and
I'm not even disagreeing with you here. Okay. But
Okay,
like, I'm not even disagreeing that you could win this fight. But like,
Mhm.
when I asked you about what Trant just did, how did it make you feel?
everything. Nothing. As I said, I thought we could kill him. That's it.
Okay. But I asked you about the tower, and you're like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Is that what you just said? Okay.
Yeah,
So. I'm trying. The reason why I'm telling you this is because it is a feeling thing. I'm trying to like help you understand your own reaction to this situation. When I see this Treant TPing in, I would just be like, "What does this guy know that I don't know?" Like that's what I would be thinking. I'd be like, "Why is a Treant TPing into us?" You know.
Okay.
And so what this feeling is like uncertainty. You know, you're kind of like, "What exactly is going on here?" And you know what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to just take 4 steps backwards. You're supposed to just walk to like right here.
Okay.
You're not abandoning the fight. You're not fleeing, you know, you're not giving up on it. You're literally just saying, I need a little bit more information before I know how I'm supposed to proceed from here. If I know the enemy is going to fight me, almost certainly, unless I have an Aegis, the last thing I'm going to do is go hit their building and just keep hitting the building. Okay, like that's not good. You're a sitting duck here. Fighting is so much about positioning, information, predicting what the opponent's going to do. So if you think you're going to get fought, don't just hit the fucking building. You know, like don't. No. The building doesn't matter. Like the building is a catalyst for this engagement in the first place. Like this engagement is happening because you hit the building. But the building itself doesn't actually matter, okay? So it's like, you know, you guys already took a lane of racks. This tier 2 ain't that important, you know? If you guys are doing anything at this stage in the game that is not Roche, it's for the sake of forcing an engagement. That is what it is, okay? Like, that just needs to be understood. Like, you want them to fight you, so you are pushing objectives so that they will fight you, if it's not Roche. Because, like, if you guys watch professional Dota, if you talk to any high-tier Dota player, 40 minutes plus... The only thing that fucking matters is Roche. Like, it's literally the only thing that matters. Okay, so it's like, what I'm saying is, you're happy to go take this tower as a team. Fantastic. It's just, I need you and everyone watching to understand the tower is not why we're doing this. It's to fight them. Okay, so you think you can win a fight. I'm not disagreeing with you. Fantastic. Now, if you think they're going to fight you like this, reset a little bit, reposition yourself, You could even, like, run into these trees, you know? I just don't want you literally standing still in vision so they can jump you. Like, that's what I don't want to happen, okay? Make the PA jump to here rather than right here, you know? Make her do something that's slightly worse than what she just did, you know? Especially when they fort, yeah. So
Plus, I was really frustrated what happened here, like the TP thing.
Yeah.
I kind of started playing bad from this point, to be honest.
You know, man, it's making me uncomfortable. You exhibit a little too many of my traits. It's not good. It's like looking in a mirror. Okay. I don't know who needs to hear it, so I kind of just say it. It's okay to mess up, man. If you want to know why I have so much respect for somebody like Quigfa, is because I see some of the dumbest shit on his stream sometimes, in which I know if I were to do it, I would get flamed. I see his chat, they're flaming him, and he just laughs it off. You know, he literally just says something like, you know, he says some Twitch emote, or he actually just laughs it off. You know, he just ignores that he messed up. And I feel like the being willing to mess up thing is the exact same as like the conviction in your own play. You know, it's just like, I know I was trying my best there, but I TP'd out in the middle of a team fight. You know, it's like, that fucking sucks. You know, it's like, don't dwell on it, man. What needs to happen with this is, like, this is the process you need to learn. This will help you in life in general, is whenever you mess up, you just need to look at it head on. Ask yourself, is there anything I needed to learn from this so I don't do it again? In this case, is there anything you can learn from this?
In this case?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Like,
Do you think there's something? Do you think there's something to learn from this TP scroll click?
No, there's nothing to learn. It was a stupid mistake.
No, there's absolutely nothing to learn.
Exactly.
Right? So you go, hey, I accidentally TP'd out in the fight. Was there anything to learn here? No, that was just retarded. Or sorry, stupid. That was just stupid, guys. Yeah. And then you say, well, continue playing. like that is how it should be. Okay, I know that's like much more difficult to do than it is to actually just say, right? But it's like the first step is to face what you did straight on, dude. It's like, dude, I just TV'd out right in the front of a PA hitting me. What the hell? And then I can't learn anything from that. Move on. Like, that's like, just go to next. Go to the next play. Go to the next play, whatever's happening in the game. And if something is preventing that exact process from working for you, the only thing you can do is try to figure out what it is. You know, what about your own mindset? What's the, like, for me, self-awareness is exhausting, okay? It's like, okay, but it's the only way you actually fix shit. So it's like, say I TP'd out like you did, and I was dwelling on it for the rest of the game. There's obviously something wrong in my head, like the way I'm mentally processing this event, that would make me be so emo about misclicking a button. Okay, it's like, because if you think about it, misclicking a button does not deserve your own stress, right? It doesn't deserve you stressing out about misclicking a button. People are going to misclick buttons all the time. So I try to ask myself, was my emotional response appropriate to like what happened, you know? And it's like, if I misclicked a button in a pub, I would hope that wouldn't really bother me that much. But hey, man, it does. There are times where it just does, you know? And so I try to like reverse engineer it. I try to think like, where did this originate? Why am I so upset that I misclicked a button in a pub, you know? And so for me, I've noticed that I defend myself a lot. I lack confidence in what I'm currently doing. And that lack of confidence pretty much always is responsible for me getting really upset with myself for making mistakes. Okay. So for you, I think it's the same thing. I mean, it's not always like, when I say it's the same thing, I mean, I think it's a similar process. You know, it's probably got its own little unique nuances to it, but, yeah, man, this kind of thing should not bother you, you know, and it is completely human to be bothered by it, but it is within your control to work on yourself to not be bothered by it. That is what I'm trying to say. So let's go ahead and win this game. You know, I mean, I already know in hindsight that you do win this game, but so PA's thrown a little bit. I mean, what looks stupider? You misclicking TP or whatever that PA just did? I think what that PA just did looked pretty dumb, you know?
Yep.
So it's pretty funny to laugh at it. It's good to laugh at it. I think laughter is probably one of the most therapeutic things we got. So I just laugh at shit, man. Whenever I'm in a really good headspace and I make a stupid mistake, I just laugh at it. That's really all you can do sometimes. We're waiting for Roche, I would assume. Yeah, okay. Oh, and PA's gonna throw. Okay, very cool. You know, man, at the end of the day, you'll win a lot of games if you just don't be this PA. It's funny, but it's also just like so many people lose their fucking shit. You know, how often do you guys complain about your teammates, man? You literally got handed a free win by this PA. You realize that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Like, let's just remember that. Just don't be that guy. Just don't, guys. Just don't be the guy that loses his shit, breaks his items, or like buys back for no reason, and loses. Just don't be that guy. You know, 45% of the time it's your team. The other 55% is their team. So, for whatever reason, did we just forget Roche existed, or we just forgot about it?
No idea about that, actually.
Yeah,
I don't remember what I was thinking at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, so
after
PA
that
dies.
fight, I kind of...
Yeah, I mean, just in hindsight, 2020, PA dies. Just push out lanes, go back to Roche and wait for it. Roche is either going to respawn before she's up or not. You know, none of this shit matters, whatever this is. You would go push like this wave. You're farming jungle camps. I'd be up here pushing this wave, farming these camps, checking Roche at all times. And yeah, you just do Roche. I mean, you just don't go high ground without Roche. Let's just, you know, end the 3K cycle of people walking into enemy high grounds without Aegis and dying. I don't need you to be perfect Dota players, guys. I just need you to not do stupid shit. So let's just, like, when I say stupid shit, I mean stuff that's, like, the same every single game. Going high ground without Aegis? That's stupid shit. Let's just not do that, you know? Past 30 minutes, guys. The formula for Dota is get Aegis, go high ground. Don't have Aegis, sit in areas farming, and if they walk into you, they die. Wait until Roche comes up. Rinse and repeat. That's it. So whenever you're wondering, like, hey, I'm distracted because I'm frustrated from my TP death or whatever, remember, Roshan or control areas. That's it. We don't care about going high ground. We just Roshan, control areas. Roshan, control areas. Okay? That's it. That's all we need. Let's we got like 5-10 minutes left. What do you want to do? You know, we got a little bit of time. What are you thinking?
So actually, there was one more thing that I wanted, like, maybe you could help me with. I want to, like, expand my hero pool.
Okay,
so
sure.
What's the best way to do it?
Okay, what's your hero pool right now? Let's
okay.
Prescription from BSJ here. What do we got?
So I play Jug, Drow, Jug, Drow, Lifestealer are like three primary ones that I play right now.
Okay.
One of my better heroes used to be Troll, but he kind of fell off, so I don't pick him right now.
Okay.
And sometimes I play Luna, but I'm not confident on Luna, to be honest. But that's about it. Like,
okay.
those four.
Okay. So so the thing is that there's going to be a patch, you know, sometime in the near future. Probably sometime in the next week or two. So I would like you to pause on this, okay? Meaning don't start this process yet, okay? Wait till the new patch comes out. Feel free to send me a message 3 days after the patch comes out on Discord saying, hey, BSJ, what hero do you think it should be? You know, you can do that, okay? But I'm going to give you the process for now before we wrap this up. So, what's going to happen is if you want to learn a hero and you want it to be smooth as possible, it's never going to be like ultra smooth, but it needs to be a meta hero, okay? Just period. Like, it needs to be a hero that's good. Like right now, the choices would be like TB. I've seen a pretty good amount of Ursa, Bristleback, Alchemist. All these heroes would be good options because they're all pretty popular right now. Maybe Bloodseeker as well, you know? So, like, the thing is that you pick a meta hero and you go look at whatever people are building. You know, you just have like a general idea of like, this is how the skill build plays. This is the item builds that go. And for the first 3 or 4 games, you straight up just fucking copy paste. Like, whatever it is, you know, you see a TA go Treads, Bassi, Blightstone, Dragonlance, Deso, Blink. Like, you just fucking copy paste that shit for like 4 games, you know? You just, because you are so busy thinking about side-blading and using the hero that you're not going to possibly consider adjusting to game situations. Okay, so 3 or 4 games, you just straight up copy paste whatever items. And then, as you play those 3 or 4 games, you should ask yourself, after each game, somewhat understanding, like, what did that item do for me? You know, what were my power spikes? Like, did that let me fight? Did it let me farm faster? Did it give us Roche? Did it make it so I was, like, a kill threat on the map? Like, you know, why? Like, just having a general, then developing an understanding of, like, why people are building these items, you know? Just generally speaking, how did it feel to have this item? You know, it's not some perfect process. You're not going to, like, understand the hero you're playing after 4 games, but it's just, like, you will notice the before and after. You know, if you reflect on it, you'll be like, before I had this item, I felt like this. After I had this item, I felt like that. And then, you know, you'll start to slowly accrue an understanding of what that item does. So then, after you play this hero 3-4 times, then that's when you start maybe looking back. I'll usually go back and watch, like, a lane replay, or like I'll specifically see like what way they're playing the map, you know? Is the TA playing consistently triangle? Is he playing mainly bottom and then like playing through his own jungle? Is he trying to lane longer? Is he buying items to lane? I'll look at this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, item build and skill build, copy paste for 3 or 4 games. Understanding why these items work for this hero is like a very good basic understanding to have. Having a rough understanding of what this hero's power spikes are. You don't necessarily need to know like what they do, right? You just need to know that they have them. Like, it's like if I'm learning Bristle, I know his Ags is a power spike. So when I get it, I know I'm powerful, but I don't really know why. You know, like, or like I know what the ability does or whatever, but like it's so different to like actually feel out why it's good than just play it, you know, or than to like watch it. But yeah, so after these 3 or 4 games, you're going to have like a way better understanding of the hero than you ever thought you would. Like 3-4 games straight in a row, okay? Like you'd be amazed what happens after like 4 games of this. But then you need to just play the hero 10-15 times more over the course of like the next 20 games. You just need to have over half of your games be this hero, okay? And then what's going to happen is you'll have developed a pretty good understanding of when it's good at that point. Assuming it's not like a super hard hero like Lone Druid or something. You're definitely not at the point of learning super fucking hard heroes. You know, stick to the somewhat standard carries. And then honestly, I think they're effectively added to your pool because you'll be like, I know Alchemist is good, or I know Bristle's good when they have, you know, no Silver Edge buyers, you know? And it's like, okay, I see a game where they don't have a guy who buys Silver Edge, I can pick Bristle. And then you pick him and then go from there. But so for the next patch, ask me like 2-3 days into it. Just say, hey, BSJ, what hero would you recommend? I'll tell you whatever meta carry I think is like out of all the options I see, like which one I think is best for you to learn because you're a Jug, Lifestealer, Drow, and we'll go from there, you know? And what's going to happen is I really think it takes about 15 games on most heroes to add them to your pool where you won't just automatically lose, okay? Or like that you won't be below 50%. And then from there, it's just like no, you don't need to put much effort in. Just pick the hero, you'll learn as you go, you know, meaning like no conscious effort there. Once you've done these like first 15 games, you'll have a decent understanding of when the hero's good. There's still going to be games where you mess up on it because it's not like you're some master at this hero all of a sudden. But it's like, all I want for people with their learning heroes is to understand that the first step is to not automatically be below 50% win rate based on how well you play the hero. It's like, And so meta heroes give you a little bit of leeway. You can be like very mediocre at meta heroes, and you'll usually have 45 to 50% win rate being very mediocre on meta heroes, you know, but that's just kind of how forgiving it can be to pick a strong hero. So yeah, I'll give you that hero when the new patch comes out. I recommend you wait till then. I think you have other things to focus on, but I like that you're trying to expand your hero pool. So do you have any other questions before we wrap it up?
Yeah, so actually today there was like a lot of things that we talked about. So I'd like you to like summarize what main things
sure.
that I should focus on.
So it seems like the map awareness thing is kind of in development. I want, as long as you're aware of learning little things at a time, where I said during the session, like this on the map means this. So as you're looking at the map, it's good that you're getting in the habit of looking at the map, but the next step as you're looking is to know what you're looking at. So it's like if I see a mid wave with no mid laner there, that means a lot to me. That's probably like the basic example from today that like will help you a lot. It's like if I see a mid wave, no mid hero there, that's going to change the way I play. That's like, so you could even focus on that one specifically, you know, just like paying attention to the mid wave in the first 10 minutes of the game, you know, just seeing like, is the mid laner on the mid wave, so that we don't see these random engagements you're taking in your lane where you're getting ganked by a mid laner. That's not good. So that's like, I'd say that's like, for now, that one will help you a lot. Just monitor the mid wave and where the opponent is. You'll learn a lot about that one, I think, just by paying attention. The next one, I mean, the biggest thing that we came from this session is making decisions that are your own. So, if you think there's a place you want to play on the map, if there's like a degree at which you think you're strong to fight or not, just follow it, man. It doesn't have to be right. But like, I don't want you next session, if I had one goal for you, would be I went to this fight because I felt like I had to help my team. Or like I went to this fight because my team was saying something. It's like, I want that fight to be something you thought was good. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Okay? Like, it's the thing about it is if you're making decisions that are not your own, it doesn't actually do anything for me to like help you understand Dota better. Because like you're not even listening to your own knowledge, right? So we got to get you out of that mindset, because that one's not easy, by the way. I have been doing this for like 4 months, and all that's happening is I'm slowly making my own decisions more. Okay, that's all it really is. It's like it's going to be a work in progress. So I think the first step for you would be to be fully aware in the moment after you messed up, to be like, that was not my own decision. Okay. And like the thing is, don't think about it any further than that. That was not my decision. So the only way to fix this moving forward in the game itself is to make my own decision. And you'll start realizing like how often you're not making your own decisions. And then, because if you think about the decision itself, you're not actually addressing the problem. Like if you're thinking about the fight bottom, right? Like and thinking how that could have gone, what you could have done better. But if that was a fight you did not want to go to based on whatever in the game's happening, the only solution for yourself moving forward is to understand you did not make a decision that you thought was correct, which is that, because like we need to understand if we're spending mental energy on the actual fight that happened, that's actually not accomplishing anything, because it wasn't the problem, right? It wasn't what caused us to die or whatever. So that's the big one. Your own decisions. Come back saying my reasoning for this was my own decision. And if you're wrong, totally fine. I'd say the other one is to be okay with being wrong. And don't defend yourself. If I had like, those are probably the three. If I had the two, make your own decisions and don't defend yourself to your teammates or to anyone, including yourself. Like, don't feel the need to like justify yourself internally. Be like, I did this because I thought it was good. Like, fuck these guys. You know, it's like, no. Just like, at all times, we are operating in the future, like meaning as we go forward from here, as we proceed, we are assuming you are trying to win the game with your decisions. Okay. That's it, right? There's nothing more to think about it. It's like afterwards, you might have been wrong and you can reflect on it, but there's no need to defend ourselves. And I assure you, there's going to be times where you defend yourself. So just be aware of it. Just be like, I defended myself again.
Okay.
You know,
So,
that's
okay.
it. Don't beat yourself up about it. That's like easier said than done as well, because like I beat myself up about it randomly here and there. So, yeah, just I think a lot of your decision making is better than what I'm seeing. Okay, so
Okay.
or like your knowledge should lead to better decisions than what I'm seeing in the game. So last point. Okay, summary. Make your own decisions. Understanding specific things on the map. Self-awareness of making your own decisions, or like, holding yourself accountable for that. And then the last one would be to farm backwards when people are dead. That's actually a big one that's going to be relatively simple to apply, but just know the more information you have, you want it to be thinking of, I'm going to set up more aggressively on the map and farm the next minute backwards. Okay, because what happens is the more information you have at the current moment, the odds go up that you will have less information 20 seconds from now than you do right now. That makes sense, right? It's like the more information you have, the higher odds that in the future you'll have less. Like, that kind of just makes sense, right? So whenever we have more information, we want to be more aggressive, because that's what Dota is an information game. So, yeah, just kind of realize as you're looking at the map more and more that there is a high variance in how much information you're being given. Sometimes people are showing 4 heroes in one spot. Sometimes you literally see nobody. Sometimes they're all dead and you have all the free reign of the map. You have like all the information you could ever need. So what you'll learn is, like, when you are pushing that tower, if you don't have full information about what's going on, you should take a step back real quick. Just like a little bit of a passive, back 400 units, no freak out. If you have all the information in the world, you should run into their ancients, take them, and then leave. That's like the opposites there. Okay, that's it. Any final questions?
Nothing more. Just okay. So if we had like 3 sessions so far. So right. So how would you rate my development? I know that I've been feeling good about my development, but I want to know from you that like how
I
would you rate my
I can tell that you are putting in conscious effort to get rid of bad habits, and I think that specifically your bad habits are similar to mine, where unless they all kind of get slow, like a little bit shored up, it's not going to see tangible results in like wins and losses. So I will say that I think it's good, but I will also tell you that like these things are grinding. Like, these are bad habits that you are like grinding out. So it's much more about a small, consistent effort than it is about big jumps for you. Okay, because that's basically what my last like 4 months was just small, consistent efforts to make this better. And eventually it paid off massively. But like in the short term, if you're looking at the map more, if you're like trying to develop your own self-awareness, you're just going to randomly fuck shit up. So my advice is that I think your progress is good, but I also know it's not the most there's no immediate reward, from this.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. So just don't get demoralized or dissuaded by that, So,
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I realize that like the behavioral issues are like the hardest thing to like train out of. So
it is very difficult. Yeah. But yeah, man. Any other questions?
No, that's it. Thank
Sweet,
you,
man. No problem, dude. Make sure just remember on your own accord to message me 2-3 days after the new patch.
Sure.
I'll send you a hero. I'll give you like a small summary of a hero to make it easier for you. So
got it.
Okay. See you later, dude.
Thank you.
Dude, this huge ass guy is back with the SpongeBob spam. Holy shit. I'm sure Jaren's already in bed, but I'll thank him for the raid later. Who won the fight? Actually, it was me versus a bear, and I don't see any bears, so I think it's very obvious who won. But yeah, that is very nice, Macarius Rinko. So I'm like an incredibly irresponsible human being, and I just forgot that I had this coaching session. So my plan was to stream later in the day. So I am going to be going and working out, having lunch, all that kind of stuff. And I will be back later. So I'll see you guys in maybe like 400, or sorry, I'll see you in like at 4 o'clock, which is 3.5 hours from now. So thanks for watching, guys. Just a morning coaching stream. I'll be back on for a normal stream later. Thanks for watching.